Hello there everyone, my name is Jemima Ndebele and you are watching Careers Bistro, where we complement and supplement your favorite Friday supplement publication, that is Careers Hub, where we give you everything pertaining to careers, corporate industries and even unorthodox businesses that are making big moves. Today we'll be having a very exciting and insightful guest for you. That is then our front page profile for this week, Mr. Cheetahs van Graan, who is also the CFO of Nedbank Namibia. In addition to that, we have a interesting, and when I tell you interesting, I mean interesting, career motivation for you from someone with a very unorthodox business. But I'm sure you guys will love it and find it as motivating as I did. Now stay tuned as we interview Mr. Cheetahs van Graan. As you can see, I am not alone in studio, but I'm joined today by the CFO of Nedbank Namibia, Mr. Cheetahs van Graan. Good day, Cheetahs. How are you?
Good morning, Jemima, and good morning, viewers. It's a real privilege to be here this morning.
I'm glad and I'm grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule to be here today. I can imagine, working in the banking industry, it must be hectic.
Yeah, I think the last few years, especially with the pandemic, has been very stressful, not only for us, but also, looking after our clients, our staff, in terms of that, ensuring the bank remains stable throughout the pandemic and that everybody's deposits and money remains safe with all the uncertainty. So, but it's still, I think it's a great industry. It's a massive player in the Namibian context in terms of GDP creation. And I think we've got an even more important role to play going forward. So it's great, I think, and we look forward to recovering also and playing our part in this recovery process in Namibia after the tough 2 years we've had.
Definitely. Now, for our viewers that are watching, they would definitely love to know that Mr. Cheetahs van Graan is also our front page profile for this week's Careers Hub. So we would then like to know a little bit more about you and a little bit less about the banking industry.
Yeah, so I think, I'm a chartered accountant in terms of profession. I grew up here in Windhoek High School, grade school in terms of that, and then I went to go study at Stellenbosch at that stage. Also a great privilege to be able to study in such a beautiful setting in terms of that. And then I came back and did my articles at Ernst & Young here in Namibia. Spent some time on the coast managing the office there. And then I got an opportunity to move into mining. We had a lot of mining clients at that stage, and then moved into Rossing for about 4 years as the financial manager there. And that was a great experience, Jemima. I think, if you work in a professional services firm such as an audit firm or a lawyer's firm, you're quite spoiled because you just work with qualified, young, ambitious people. Yes. And the mining actually learned me quite a lot, working with a wide array of people, with, some with only grade 12 qualifications. And we went through quite a tough time there, with the uranium price quite depressed. Yeah. And we really needed to look at some innovative ways to really ensure the mine remains afloat. And that was a great experience. I then got opportunity to come back to Windhoek and go back to EY, where I led the advisory practice and consulting practice of EY Namibia as a partner. Also, a great experience in terms of servicing a wide array of clients, assisting them with their processes, efficiencies. Yeah. All of that. And then, after 3-4 years, I really missed the corporate environment, and the opportunity at Nedbank arose. And I've never looked back since.
But what I'd really like to know, I mean, you have been, moving between industries. So what was that transition like?
Yeah, it's tough. I think, again, I say to people, I'm still a miner at heart because I enjoy understanding this is what we take out of the ground, this is what we put through the plant, this is what we produce. But, during my time at EY, I had to service a lot of financial services clients, which is a lot more different in terms of, I call it funny money, all of these complex transactions as derivatives. So it was a learning curve. I do still think, if you look at the industry of the future, it is in the financial services space, although there's a lot of change happening in terms of that. So I think the big disadvantage we have in Namibia in terms of sectors, we don't have the wide array of manufacturing and large corporates like even South Africa or even abroad has. So, you really need to hone in on specific sectors that you want to gain experience. And I think, again, we've got banking, insurance industries, limited manufacturing, and then mining as the main sector. So, again, I think globally people are moving towards gaining experience and developing skills in that specific sector, but you need to also understand where your interest lies. It doesn't help you work in an industry, and I think you can also resonate to that, where you have no interest or in terms of your own personality and liking. So I think that's number one, critical.
Now, how do you think your personality ties into you in the industry that you're now working in?
Yeah, I think I think twofold. I think firstly, the employer I'm working for, I mean, Nedbank being the smallest, I think I'm driven by making a change and a tangible change, and we being the smallest, there's a lot to gain for us, and I think we've come a long way in the last 5 years, and I think that also motivates me in my personality to be successful, if there's opportunity to really make a step change in the organization I work. Again, the financial services with the digital transformation and this fourth industrial revolution that's currently happening, it's going through a massive change. And again, some of the work that I've done at EY with robotics, all of that has come really to handy and very relevant now in these changes, because we as banks really need to think and rethink our operating models, transform digitally to ensure we can service our clients, who's all moving with the digital age. And I think, again, from my own personal point of view, that's very exciting. And again, that's why I say the fintech and financial services and banking sector is really one for the future.
I would really like to know, I mean, you must be very busy all the time, but I would like to know what it is that you do in your free time, when you're not working, when you're not talking corporate industries. How do you unwind?
Yeah, I think firstly, busy is a very relative. I think we can all, and I say to people, especially if you're in a corporate, doesn't matter what industry, you need to set certain boundaries. The more you give to an organization, the more it will take. And it's not Nedbank or whoever you work for's fault. And I realized that quite early in my career, and the reality is also, I think you need to have balance, because in the end, if something happens to me, Jemima, Nedbank's hopefully going to say, he was a nice guy, he was an okay CFO. Some people would miss me, some not, and they will get someone else, and probably someone better. But for your family, your loved ones, there's only one Jemima and one Yehia, in terms of that, and you're not replaceable. So it's very important you put in the boundaries, because and I think I say to my team, I'm not impressed if you sit here every day until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It either means we are not being effective, or we don't have enough people. In terms of that. So it's important to set the boundaries in terms of work balance. I've got a young family, so that's my number one priority, in life. So they keep us busy, and it's the old cliche is, the rate in which they are growing up, is immense. So you need to enjoy these times now while they're still young and still adore you in that sense. I'm a big outdoors person, and I really get my energy from exercise. So I used to be a runner, transitioned to cycling, and that comes with the performance contract at Nedbank. We are quite big in cycling sponsoring. So I do the dash every year, and the cycle challenge and all of that, and then just enjoy time spending with my family, camping, etc. In terms of, and I think that's really important. You need to determine where do you get your energy from? How do you recharge? It can be, different things, reading, yoga, etc. But you need some time to spend and put energy into yourself and what makes you happy. Otherwise, as I say, it's not going to be sustainable.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy week once again. And there you have it, viewers, from the brilliant and well-balanced Mr. J.G. van Graan. We hope you guys enjoyed that lovely interview that we had with Mr. J.G. van Graan that touched not only on the corporate world but also on the importance of balance and wellness and where you get your energy from. Now let's get some more motivation and re-energize from our career motivation.
My advice to the youth is to follow your purpose, ensure that you have clear goals for what you want to attain in the future. Write these goals down, ensure that you have action steps, start taking those action steps, be in pursuit of purpose rather than chasing success or money. When you do what you're passionate about, when you pursue your purpose, that is when you reach true success. Solve a problem, find something that you can help other people with. In that way, you help yourself. Thank you.
We hope you guys enjoyed that and found it as motivating as I did. And now let's take a look at this week's company profile.
Yes, afternoon, sir. How's your day? Until next year. My name is Lipedi. I'll be the guide for the safari. In this safari, we are actually going out from the current reserve, the Nakuza Wildlife Reserve, and then we'll be heading to Zania Reserve, which is close to about another 9,000 hectares. It's quite a very large place, okay? This is going to demand us to do a little bit of driving here and there to see some of the animals that we have in the reserve. How we are actually different to that reserve, to most other reserves, is we actually have got wildlife that we have rescued and then give a second chance in life. This is actually why we know that we have 3 elephant bulls that are freely roaming around, 3 female lionesses, also the same thing, and at least more than 10 rhino in our reserve. Apart from that, we also have common wildlife that includes the giraffes, springboks, oryx, zebra, and so forth. Just relax, don't do anything. Just look straight down onto your left-hand side right-hand side on the ground. Just relax, stay calm. That is your That is your puff adder, which is actually the slowest of all the snakes. All right.
It's like it breaks down your tissue. So if you get bitten by that thing, your tissue will slowly start disintegrating. Serious? Yeah. Thank you for it. Thank you for the...
How I actually saw it is I saw that small trail. I didn't see the snake itself. I only saw the small trail right in the middle, which is actually a lining. That's what you would always find when it comes to a puff adder. Yeah.
As big as it is.
You can still have that small trail. You will always have that small lining in between, which is actually tail mark and the tip point that trails as it goes. Yeah. It's two boys, two males. Yeah.
You just said we should keep in the car. Because they single you out now. You're not in the car.
Cheetahs are actually an animal that I also do cheetah walks with in the reserve. So it's a type of an animal I know.
Friends.
We also do cheetah walks as well. In terms of the behavior as well, cheetah is actually not really built for fights. They are actually built for speed. So in most of the cases, they don't really want to spend time where they can actually get injuries. Rather, they would actually run away. Plus, it's also a type of an animal that can gain complete trust to a human being as well. Otherwise, if it was a lion, I would not be standing here. You know,
Lion will turn around.
lion would actually say hello. Definitely, lion will make sure that he is known. Yeah. These two cheetahs, most of the time, they actually prefer to be around the fence line. It's much more open here. We've said in the very beginning that we also have got lions as well. Just a few minutes ago, I've also mentioned the same thing. Apart from that, we estimate at least a number of at least about 15 plus minus leopards freely roaming around in the reserve. If we can look in the inside part of the reserve, there's lots of plants, which the dominant plant is actually the grass. All right. If we can say those guys are runners and they are vulnerable to other animals, that is not the safe place for them, but it's rather alongside the fence. So in a way, they are actually sort of used to the area here, much more feeling safe as well. That's why most of the time, the fence is a safe place. Means he doesn't know where we are, though he had something around, which was the car. Okay. When we get to I will actually not take us to a position where I myself is going to be in danger, all right? So what we'll do is I will always make sure that we've got a bush in between, which is going to be a barrier, all right? Once we get a little closer, we'll actually do it one step at a time. And then all the feet at the same time. Once we start walking, I don't want anyone to stand probably for something else. We go there for the rhino, we get our pictures, we come back. All right. Pictures wise, if it's going to be for our phone, it's okay. But please don't use these pictures for anything, Facebook or WhatsApp or anything. We don't want poachers to know where the rhino could be. So the rounds would actually tell you the age of a kudu. So I can say that's about another 2.5 years old kudu at this stage, because every half round represents half a year. The complete round represents a complete year. So at about 7 years, we can say kudu has reached its complete life. On average, and let's say looking at the conditions, the environment, food and everything, we can say on average kudu would live for about plus minus 7 years. It grows quite fast, but then it's an animal that's quite weak and therefore really has a very short lifespan compared to the rest of the antelopes.
Unfortunately, that is all we have for you this week on Careers Bistro, but please do make sure to join us again next week, same time, same place. From me, Jemima Ndebele, it's goodbye.